What's going on, everybody? It's ya boy, Sarcastic Slow King, back again, and here we are, the 500 subscriber Q&A. I put this out a couple weeks ago for you guys to send me questions for me to answer in a Q&A to celebrate this occasion. You guys asked, and now I'm gonna answer. Alright, here we go. Let's just get right into it. Who was my inspiration to make a TPI? Well, myself. Like a lot of other people, my inspiration was Nicky Nor 2. I remember in 2009, he only had 6 episodes out at the time that I first started seeing his stuff. And I saw the first 6 episodes and I said, I need more. I need more. Where is it? And then I kind of forgot about it for a while because I was 12 years old and had a brain the size of a peanut. And then eventually, I thought to myself, whatever happened to that TPI stuff? That was cool. And when I searched it up, sure enough, Nicky Nor 2 was there. And I believe he was up to episode 25, which was the Toys Are Dumb episode. I think that's what he was up to. So I got all caught up. And then I was with the series for the rest of it. So, and after that, I was like, this is really cool. I gotta make one. Because this was around when I was in, I want to say, 7th grade? 7th grade sounds about right. And when I had been in 6th grade, that was when Total Drama Island was airing in the US. So I'd seen that, and I probably thought to myself at one point or another, hey, what if there was Total Drama Island, but with Pokemon? But then, sure enough, there it was. Nicky Nor 2. I did see Mischievous 525's show, but like for the life of me, I can't remember like any of it. Probably because it's not out there anymore, so I can't rewatch it and then, you know, be like, oh yeah, I remember that, like you can with Nicky Nor. But I don't know. I don't really remember anything from Mischievous's show. But to answer that question, Nicky Nor 2 was my inspiration. God rest his soul. He's not dead, but he's no longer with us in this community. But he's in a better place, and it's okay. It's okay, because if he's happy in his life, and he's doing what he wants to do and living his best life, who am I to tell him no? Anything you plan on doing outside of ISB/TPI content on this channel going forward? Right now, I don't know. And I might. However, I might also branch off into another channel to do some other videos, some, Twitch stream highlights, some reaction type videos, just in general other content that I would want to make at some point, but that, might not necessarily fit in with the Sarcastic Slow King channel, if that makes sense. But as of right now, that's a hard I'm not sure from me. So we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Speaking of crossing bridges when we get there, Season 3, what's the future of the series? So I'll say this, as of right now, I'm looking at my watch, it is Friday the 5th of March, 2021 at 11:32 p.m. As of this very second, I do not plan on doing a Season 3. TPI, my first season took, it was like 2.5 years to complete. Now, with ISB, we have gone further than that. We're over 2.5 years, and not to say we're not even close, but we still have a long way to go. So I don't know where I'm gonna be in my life when I eventually finish this season, and I don't know when it's gonna be. It could be 2 years from now. It could be 3, 4. Who knows? It depends on how many episodes I can get out every year. So as of right now, I'm planning on ending the series after Island Strikes Back. That being said, if I do eventually decide to come back, which if I if I do decide to do a season 3, it'll be a while after Island Strikes Back is over. Not the same, 1 month turnaround that I went from season 1 to season 2. But if I do decide to come back, I do have an idea that, I won't spoil right now just in case, it does end up happening. But I do have an idea. It's pretty rough right now, but it's in the notes of my phone, so that means it's in there, it's in my brain, just in case I ever want to come back. But as of right now, as I take a sip of my water to stay hydrated, as of right now, once ISB is over, then that is probably it for me with the TPI series. And I guess this kind of also goes back to the second question. I've toyed with the idea of doing other Pokemon type shows. I don't know if I would ever do them, but I think I could do an alright trainer show. I think I could do an alright Pokemon show that's not necessarily like a competition based show, if that makes sense. It could exist in the same universe as TPI and ISB, but it would be just a completely different kind of tone, a completely different vibe. It wouldn't be that same, competition format. I think I could pull those off, but as of right now, we are full steam ahead on the ISB train. So, does Turtwig still have his idol? Yes. What's up with Mime Junior's less bitchy behavior in the 2 latest episodes? New plot? Maybe. We'll see what happens with her. We'll see what happens. Yeah, y'all gonna like what happens with Mime Junior. Y'all gonna like that. And 3, where do you get all your creativity for challenges from? It's a mix of different things. Some of the challenges that I have the most fun with are the movie-based challenges. The ones that come to mind are Shark Bait, which is based off of Jaws, obviously, and then One Night in 84, which is based off of a bunch of different 80s horror movies. Your Friday the 13th, Halloween, stuff like that. And as much as that episode wasn't well received, the Come Get Your Ass Kicked was, of course, based on Jurassic Park, and I did have fun with that challenge as well. So a lot of the challenges I have the most fun with are those movie-based challenges, which was kind of hard for me to do in moderation almost, because I didn't want to get caught in the weasel trap of, well, they're all movie-based challenges, so this is basically TPA. Because I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to do a TPA necessarily. I wanted to kind of break the mold off of that. And I feel like I honestly, this might sound weird, but for somebody who does watch a lot of movies like I do, and kind of a wide assortment of movies, if I was to try to pull off a TPA type season with this cast size that I have right now and the amount of episodes, I don't know if I could do it. Honestly, it's because I have a lot of movies that I'm that I know the back of my hand, but a lot of them it's I don't know how I would ever kind of turn that into a challenge. You know what I mean? I don't really know what I would do with that. And the last thing I want to do is, being such a movie guy, the last thing I want to do is make a TPA season and then end up, I'm getting flashbacks to binging Nikki's TPA almost 2 years ago, when it felt like every single episode he'd be like, all right, well, the challenge is based off of this movie. I've never seen it, so I don't really know what's going on in the movie, but we're going to do this instead. And then the challenge has nothing to do with the movie, and it's were you even trying? What is happening? So I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to get caught in that. So I didn't do a TPA, but I was I still have to have those those movie-based challenges, at least a few of them. And the other challenges, honestly, some of them I just pull them out of my ass. Like, what's a good example? The Tetris challenge, I kind of pulled that one out of my ass because I was like, I sort of came up. It was just the word Tetris came into my head, and I was like, boom, there it is, Tetris right there. And then I got to the episode, and I was like, okay, how am I gonna make this a challenge? So sometimes it's just like I pull something out of my ass. Sometimes it's, you know, something that I'm super familiar with, which you will see in what's the next episode? 22? You'll see in 23 the challenge is something that I and many people know, I am oh so familiar with, and I won't tell you right now, but when we get there, you'll understand, and you'll be like, okay, I trust him to do this challenge because I know that this is his thing, basically. So yeah, I mean, a lot of my creativity either comes right from my ass or from movies, shows, other types of media that I'm very familiar with, or even, you know, other things like just trying to take a very mundane, like, kind of game and then turning it into a challenge. You know, the 2 truths and a lie challenge comes to mind, where it's a very mundane game that, you know, everyone's played, but I'm sure you've never played it where if you guess the answer wrong, you get set on fire. I'm sure nobody's played it like that before. So that was kind of my my psychotic twist on that one. So it's all sorts of different things. And I mean, I guess when it comes to advice for like making challenges, try to first of all write down all your ideas and don't get rid of anything, because you never know when you're gonna want to use something versus, you know, I might not use that, but then, you know, 2 months later you're like, wait a minute, that's kind of a good idea, I could use that here instead. So write down all your ideas for challenges and stuff, and try to make your challenges things that you know, things that you're familiar with, things that you're going to be able to put your own spin on and like make your own, and make them enjoyable for you to write and you to animate and you to, you know, edit and all that stuff. So it's like you gotta do what you are comfortable with and what you're gonna have the most fun with, and that's basically what I do for my challenges. Do you have any scrapped plot lines for Island Strikes Back other than Hoot Hoot being a supposed twist villain? That is the big one. Honestly, that's my go-to when somebody says, like, do you have any scrap storylines? That's my go-to. However, along with the Hoot Hoot twist villain storyline, which for anyone who doesn't know, I was originally going to have a storyline where it turned out that Hoot Hoot was the secret leader of the evil alliance, that being Quillfish, Draw the Dud, and Pattykins. And Hoot Hoot was going to be in the group, and he was going to kind of be acting like a henchman, whereas he was secretly pulling all the strings the whole time, almost kind of like what Patrat ended up being, where like he kind of just let Quillfish think he was running the show, when in reality he was like, I'm gonna fucking kill all of you. So it was gonna kind of be like that. And that was also way before I decided that that Patrat was gonna, you know, win Money in the Bank, all that stuff, and before I decided that there was going to be a another twist as opposed to Hoot Hoot. So, you know, we'll get there. We'll get there. Don't worry, baby. We'll get there. But along with that Hoot Hoot twist villain kind of plotline, I think I've said this to Jake 2319 MI, as you may know him. I think I've told him this one. I'm not too sure about that though. So I was originally going to have a whole storyline based on the Saw movies, which again is something that I'm super familiar with. So I was like, oh, I could pull this off. It was originally going to be, so I was gonna have, from season 1, I was going to have Mawile, Sandslash, formerly Sandshrew, and Wingull return. They were all going to return from episodes, I think, 5 to around 16. And so what was going to happen was there was going to be this ongoing storyline where people keep getting kidnapped, and they end up in these big, saw traps, and they have to escape, and kind of they're being taught a lesson by whoever kidnapped them. And it's a lot of there's going to be a lot of character work and stuff like that, stuff to do with their character flaws and stuff. And then you were going to think that it was Hoot Hoot who was behind the whole thing. And then once Hoot Hoot gets eliminated, you're like, oh, okay, cool. It's over. But it's not, because it turns out that it was going to be Sandslash who was behind everything the whole time. And the reason, the kind of, I guess, motive was going to be, I was completely forgotten about in season 1. He did almost get killed in season 1. He got the shit crushed out of him by Steelix, so he almost died. But he was going to be like, I almost died in season 1, and then everyone just forgot about me and threw me away for all you new contestants. And so I needed to get my revenge by showing you what it's like to be forgotten and to be tossed aside and all that stuff. I ended up scrapping the whole thing and not bringing anyone back from season 1, which in hindsight, I'm glad I didn't, because God, oh God, I can't even imagine bringing in another character, not necessarily even bringing someone back who was previously eliminated, a character from a completely different season. I couldn't do it right now. I just couldn't. It's impossible. But that's my biggest one, honestly. And it was going to tie into the Hoot Hoot Twist villain plot, but that was originally going to be my big my big plot twist. And as I scroll through I'll pull up my ISB notes in my phone. There's my season 3 idea that I can't talk about. Haha. Another thing, if you remember, in episode 6? No, 5. 5, Bone Apple Tea. Azumarill was the special guest referee. It's just kind of like a cameo thing. I originally had the idea of just bringing Azumarill back as a co-host, just to annoy the shit out of Slowking for the rest of the season. I ended up scrapping it just because, I don't know, I didn't really want to do it anymore. But, that's one. Let's see. Yeah, we got the whole Saw kind of storyline. It just wasn't gonna happen. I don't know. I wasn't confident enough in it, so I just decided not to do it. Yeah, and along with the Hoot Hoot Twist villain, he was also gonna be the one that stole the Dreamcatcher, which didn't happen. So, and I have two original drafts for the merge, the post-merge tribe, you could say. And half of them are basically the same. It's a lot of people that are still in right now, but in my original top 13 was Umbreon, Wartortle, Blitzel, Phanpy, Rockruff, Hoot Hoot, Sandslash, Skiddo. Shinx was gonna make it that far. What the fuck? That changed. Mawile from season 1, Ninjask, and Bidoof was gonna make it to the merge, and then a lot of that changed. And out of the people that are still in that I just named, I'm not gonna tell you who makes it there, but that was a huge change right there. So that's my scrap storylines. If you could rewrite any of your characters, what would the top 3 be? That's a tough question, because obviously, like, Mimikyu comes to mind, and like the early boots, you know, your Ratatas, your Timbers, and all that shit, like, they come to mind. But at the same time, it's tough to say, because everything that has happened so far has led to where we are now. And I am so fucking happy with where we are right now and where we're going to be after next episode. Just you wait, baby. I'm very happy with, you know, where we are right now. So I almost feel like we couldn't have gotten to where we are right now without doing everything that we already did. And that includes, you know, the past blunders, you know, your Mimikyus and your Timbers and your Helioptiles and all that stuff, and your Hoot Hoots especially. So I guess I would say if I had to, I would say Mimikyu, Hoot Hoot, Helioptile. But again, I personally wouldn't, because unfortunately they were casualties of other storylines that led to where we are right now. Which again, I'm very happy about. And 3, will Turtwig eventually get his revenge on Skiddo? I don't know, you should watch the next episode and find out, baby. Are you secretly Nicky Nor too? No, but I am 3 raccoons in a trench coat, so take from that what you will. What is your opinion on the future of TPIs on YouTube? I think it's looking up. I really do. Because throughout the history of TPIs on YouTube, you know, it started out as just like 2 or 3 guys, and I know I'm probably gonna get fucking blasted in the comments for saying this, but it was like back in the day, the OG days, it was Nicky and it was Mischievous, and you know, there's like Elko, Raider, and you know, all that, and fucking. I remember him as Whirlugia. I don't remember what his name was before that. There was like Ruins of Poly and stuff like that. Neon Ray, those guys. I don't remember their shows too much. The ones that you literally hear everyone talking about are Nicky and Mischievous. So you had those guys, and then it kind of, I wouldn't say it fell into obscurity, because it's already kind of a very niche thing on YouTube, but then, you know, you had your, you know, Leafy on Live, Emerald Star, all that stuff. They were kind of the early not early 2010s, but like that kind of 2011 to 2013, 14 kind of range. And then you had 2015, where, you know, I jumped in the scene, and then by around 2017, it was, you know, I was in there, 2319MI, Jake was in there, Will, Infinite Master, was in there. So it was like, it was an increase of shows of good quality and some form of notoriety, if that makes sense. That was kind of when it started. And it was also kind of when everybody, you know, people started like, you know, working together and being like, hey, I'll be in your episode if you be in my episode. Yeah, fuck yeah, and stuff like that. And now the point that we're at right now in 2021, a lot of the, you know, the old guard have sort of retired. You know, Emerald Star, Leaf on Live, they're retired, and now you've got, you know, me and Jake and Will, and you also have guys that are coming up right now. You know, your Turtle Productions with Dimensions. You know, you got Game Changers for Heavenly Heracross. You know, you got Clyscore Games Show. You got fucking, oh god, what's it called? Pacifica? I think it's Pacifica. Vibi's coming out with Pacifica in the future. And then other shows like that, is that, you know, we have a steady increase of guys that are coming up. Poke Pandemonium comes to mind as well. So we do have a steady increase of guys that are coming up. And so that eventually when, I and, Jake retire after our respective seasons, most likely 99% chance, I would say, once we retire, then it's going to be on the younger fellas. And then I'm sure once they're kind of, once they're more, I guess, veteran status in the community, then there's going to be guys that are just coming up again. So the thing about it is everything is cyclical. Cyclical, I think, is whatever. Everything is a cycle where the veterans, their time comes and they finish up their stuff and then they retire. And then the guys that were kind of like not rookies necessarily, but the guys that were the, up and comers, they become the veterans once the veterans retire. And then you have a big circle like that. And so, honestly, I think the future of TPIs on YouTube is bright. It's looking up. Do I think that, every show is going to end up pulling Nicky Nor numbers? No, I don't. I hope so, but I don't think that's going to happen because it's a pretty niche topic on YouTube. So I don't think, anybody's going to be making money off of TPIs in the future. If somebody can prove me wrong on that, then fucking by all means do it. But I think in terms of, shows coming out that are of quality and in terms of where we're going, I think we're only going up. I hope that everyone can pull Nicky Nor numbers someday. That'd be fucking dope. That'd be dope as fuck. But we'll see if that happens. I also think that he only started pulling those numbers after he stopped making his show. So we'll have to see once like me and Jake retire. We'll have to see if like our shows become like cult classics, like Nicky's show, and start doing crazy numbers. So we're looking up though. I am very optimistic about the future of TPIs on YouTube, and I feel like once I leave, I feel like it'll be in good hands. What's your favorite Pokemon of each type? Okay, so let's here's what I'm gonna do. I'm going to, because I don't want this to go on for 3 hours, I'm just gonna flash them up on the screen and give you a very quick synopsis. So normal type. Come on, it's Bidoof. He's fucking adorable. He's a little dopey boy. How can you not love him? He also will break your jaw with brass knuckles. Fire type, Braixen. Ever since I had Y for the first time, Pokemon Y, I started with Fennekin, and I've loved Braixen ever since. Electric type is Heliolisk, who you will be seeing again later in this Q&A, so don't you worry about that, baby. Who's next? Grass, Torterra, who you'll also be seeing later. Again, my first starter ever in a main series game was Turtwig / Torterra. And, man, I love him. I think he's so cool. I just want to, climb onto his back and take a nap, you know what I'm saying? Ice is Glaceon, who, contrary to what you probably think, Glaceon is actually my favorite Pokemon, okay? And I think there's a question about this later on, so we're going to get there. But yes, Glaceon is my favorite Pokemon. It's my favorite evolution. I fucking love it. Next is Fighting type, and man, Mega Gallade? Oh, what a sexy beast. Look at this man. He's got blades on his arms. He's got a cape. Look at him. Oh my god. Poison types? I don't know. I don't really know what my favorite poison type is. It's kind of tough to say. You ever get the feeling that like you're being watched or something? Yeah, fuck it. I'll move on. Ground type? Look at this smug motherfucker right here. Krokorok is my boy. I think Sandow's cute, and I think Crocodile, he's fine. But Krokorok is my boy. I love this man. I think he's so, like, just look at him. He's got so much attitude. He's so cool looking. Ground Dark is a sick dual type. Holy shit. Flying type? America! Fuck yeah! It's Braviary. You already know. You already know. Look how cool he is. You would want one. If there was Pokemon that were real, you would want one. Next is Psychic type. Again, how can you not pick something from your first game ever? I played Pearl for the first time when I was, oh my god, that was 15 years ago. Jesus Christ, I was 8 years old, and no, I was 9 years old. Yeah, I was 9 years old, and man, I got to Zelf, and I was like, I fucking love this guy. Out of the Lake Trio, he's the best. He's blue. His face looks cool. He's an attacker, and that's something that I always looked for in my Pokemon back in the day. So, yeah, a Zelf, favorite Psychic type. Bug type, it's Venomoth. You're gonna see Venomoth later, but just a little. Actually, no, I'll save that for later. Just Venomoth is my favorite bug type. Rock type, it's Cranidos, and I'll fully admit it, it's because of Nicky Norris Cranidos in his show. How can you not love Cranidos' crazy spin-off series and his famous line, swiveling, swiveling, it's fun because you're turning around. Swiveling, swiveling, be careful that you don't explode. How can you not love that shit? Cranidos, favorite rock type. Ground type, a lot of people, or no, excuse me, ghost type. A lot of people are gonna think this is a very strange pick. Palossand. I don't know. It's one of those things where it's like, I don't know what it is about him, but I just love him so much. He's a haunted sandcastle. I think that's cool as fuck. So Dragon type, I'll admit, when I was bringing up all these sprites, I had to look at all the Dragon types, and I found a new favorite Dragon type. So as of today, as of 2 hours ago, today, my favorite Dragon type is Appleton. Oi. I don't even know what to say about him.
What is that? What the fuck is that?
Favorite Dark type? It's ya boy, Incineroar. He's, bro, a pro wrestling Pokemon? What? When I saw that, I was like, I'm sold. I'm sold on this whole game. I don't care. I don't care if the rest of the Pokemon are shit. I got a pro wrestling fire type starter. And he's dark type. Holy shit. This is steel type, and Aegislash, he's just dope as fuck. Like, there's nothing else to say. He's so cool. Look at him. Don't touch him or you'll die. And finally, it's the fairy type. It's Azumarill. Season 1 winner. How can you not love it? Oh my god, dude. Azumarill's great. And it's a powerhouse, dude. You get a huge power Azumarill, throw some double edge on that, play rough. Oh! You got a kill on your hands. Oh, and water types, it's me. It's Slowking. Duh. Man, oh my god, look at this squad, dude. You see this squad rolling up on you on the street, you best be running, boy. You best be running away, boy. Oh man, look at that squad. Why are you? Well, I guess I was born that way. You know, it all started the day I was born. You know, when a mommy and a daddy love each other very much. What made Slowking your favorite Pokemon? If Slowking isn't your favorite Pokemon, then who is it, and why is it your favorite Pokemon? I touched on this earlier. Yes, so Slowking actually isn't my favorite Pokemon, which is wild to think that it's my mascot and it's not my favorite. But, yeah, as I mentioned earlier, Glaceon's my favorite Pokemon. And it's one of those things where it's like, obviously I'd want a Slowking if Pokemon were real, but, like, one of the first Pokemon that I would want is a Glaceon. It's a little dog, cat thing. Man, you know, look, I love going for a nice run on a hot summer day. Yeah, you come back, you're like, man, I'm all hot and sweaty out here. Your pet Glaceon comes in. It just like, you know, it starts rubbing against your leg. You're like, oh shit, I'm not hot anymore. What a refreshing way to spend my time. You're like, hey, I could really use some ice in my drink right now. Hey, Glaceon, could you throw some ice in there? Your Glaceon's like, yeah, boy. Boom, throw some ice in there. It's just one of those things where it's like if Pokemon were real, I'd get one. I'd get one in a heartbeat. I would travel to fucking Canada. I would travel to Canada for one day to take my little Eevee and evolve it into a Glaceon and then bring it back. And you know what? I live in the Northeast. It gets cold as fuck in the Northeast in the winter. So my Glaceon would be right at home. Bam! Glaceon, favorite Pokemon. Boom! My question to you is, do you feel like there's a contestant that in retrospect you regret eliminating too early? And if yes, is there more you could have done with that particular contestant? So I also kind of touched on this earlier when it came to, scrap storylines and all that. Yes, I guess. In a cosmic sort of way, I guess. There's your Mimikyus and your Hoot-Hoots come to mind. But it's like, again, like I said, everything we've done so far has led to where we are right now. So I kind of wouldn't want to go back and change anything. Like, I don't necessarily regret eliminating anybody too early, because even the people that like were early boots and everybody was kind of like early boots. It's like, man, someone got to go first. You know what I mean? Not everyone's going to get a whole bunch of development, but even still, you're going to see those people again, and I have the plans in my brain and in my notes to make up for those early boots. So I guess to answer your question, no, I don't really regret eliminating anybody too early, because every elimination we've had, every storyline, scrap storyline, whatever, has led to where we are right now, and I wouldn't have it any other way. Hey, Dredagon, why do you have a grudge against Pikachu/Raichu?
When you're a star football player like me, you're the quarterback of the team, you hate weak-ass kids like him. It's not my fault that he didn't grow up to be big and strong and an athlete like me. Just because he was born to be a little shit doesn't mean that I can't go around and beat him up.
All right, thank you so much for that. Can you get out now? All right, goodbye. All right, what are some character ideas that you had for ISB that never came to be? The simple answer is none. There's none. Well, no, there's one. There's only one. And if I do a season 3, you will see him. The one character that didn't make the cut, and not in the sense of like a Turtwig like storyline, he didn't make the cut. I mean, like, I came up with the idea and then I was like, I don't really want to include that one. So he was going to be a Voltorb, okay? And his character was going to be very Mime Junior-esque in the sense that he was going to be super egotistical, super narcissistic, because he is number 100 in the Pokedex. So he will only go by Cien, which is Spanish for 100. Also, he's Spanish, he would have an accent, and I'd figure out the accent as I went. But he was going to be a complete asshole, and, all that stuff. So that's like my one character that just didn't make the cut, because I was like, I don't like him anymore. Fuck him. However, turning the question on its head a little bit, you might be surprised that there were 4 contestants that weren't in the original draft for the cast, and then I decided to add them very close to the beginning of production of episode 1. Those contestants, I might have mentioned this a long time ago. Those contestants are Gabite, Gibble/Gabite, which was a big good idea to put him in there. Hoot-Hoot, which we all know what happened there. Shinx, which I'm happy I did, even though people are still giving me a hard time about Shinx. And Sneasel, who I am very glad I added in at the last minute. So those are 4 people that weren't in the original draft, but I decided to add in at the last minute, and aside from Hoot Hoot, they were all really good additions. If you didn't make TPI content, what would you make instead? Going back to what I said earlier, I'd probably be doing a lot more, like Let's Play type, Twitch stream, stuff like that. A lot of, I've been into like reaction videos since like 2018, like your Cody Co's, your Aaron and Joe's, all that stuff. So I definitely want to get into those ones, and that's probably what I'd be doing. And favorite Pokemon region, you already know, baby, it's the Sinnoh region. It was my first region when I played Pearl all those years ago, and honestly, it's not even nostalgia at this point. I love the way the map is set up. I love how Mount Coronet kind of splits the region in half. I love how you get that, like, you get the left half, and then you make your way over, you kind of meander over to the right half, and then you do like a loop around there, basically, and then you come back to the left half to somewhere you couldn't go before, and then you go up through Mount Coronet all the way up to the northmost end of the map, and then you come back, and then you have to go up the actual Mount Coronet, and then you get access to the way far right of the map. I love that kind of, there's like a little bit of non-linearity, I guess, where you can kind of pick where you can do Maylene first, or you can do Wake first, I'm pretty sure, at least in Platinum. But I don't know, it's just like, I just like that you kind of start on the left, you do a little loop here, you go over to the right, do a loop here, and then you come back over here, you go up there, you come back over here. I don't know, I just love it. And Sinnoh Pokemon are some of my favorites of all time. Obviously, your Turtwigs, your Bidoofs, your Azelfs, your Licky Lickies. I fucking love Licky Lickies so much. I love Team Galactic. I think they're so, like, the grunts are so just dumb looking. Like, I call them the bowl cut brigade, because they're just kind of there. They're bowl cuts. And they're, oh my god, dude, the soundtrack. Oh, bro, Diamond and Pearl remakes. You better give me that. You better give me that remastered soundtrack, baby. You best be doing that for me. But favorite Pokemon region is the Sinnoh region. You already fucking know. Shiny Umbreon, how did it feel to be evolved?
Well, it felt great. I mean, I wasn't really expecting it at the time, but it was one of those things where I guess I was just, like I said, I guess I was just tighter with Wartortle and Ninjask than I thought. I mean, I'm super excited to be evolved and to have all this new, not even new power, but I feel stronger, I feel faster, I feel smarter, I feel wiser, and I feel like I'm ready to win this whole game now that I'm evolved.
Alright, thanks. Get the fuck out of here. Please help me divide pineapple by apple and multiply it by 23. Alright, so, I think that would be, let's see, divide pineapple by apple. That would leave you with pine. And then multiply it by 23, so you end up with 23 pine. Yeah, there you go. 23 pine. I don't know, is that like your street address or something? Well, don't tell me if it is, because I don't want to know your street address. Also, what is your college/uni major if you're in uni/college? I actually graduated college in 2019. I graduated from undergrad, and I graduated with a major in communications, film and media concentration. Excuse me. However, a lot of things have happened in my life since then. A lot of kind of things that I wasn't expecting, like kind of opportunities that I wasn't expecting have opened up that I've taken, namely with coaching track at my old high school. And so now I'm actually working on getting back into school right now so that I can get my master's in education, so that I can become a teacher and work at the school and fucking be the best coach I can be. So I'll get back to you on that when I get my master's. So let me know. Which of your TPI? Oh, I'm sorry, that's not the first question. First question is, what inspired the name The Island Strikes Back? Well, yeah, I was thinking of what I wanted to name this season, and I didn't want to just go with TPI Season 2, because I feel like that wouldn't have been enough of a differentiation between the first two seasons. And I was like, well, I'm going back to the same island, so I could go for like a Revenge of the Island title, but I was like, no, that's gimmick infringement, brother. And so I was trying to think of something that's just like basically in that same ballpark of Revenge of the Island, and I was like, wait a minute, The Island Strikes Back. Hey, that's fucking dope. That's where it came from, and then I just ran with it, man. Which of your TPIs do you like better? Island Strikes Back, easily. Don't even get me started. It's just so much better, from, you know, the better tech that I have, and just experience, man. Experience writing, experience animating on PowerPoint, experience editing, all that stuff. It's just better. Like, I'll go back and I'll watch the first couple episodes of my TPI, and I'll just cringe. I'll be like, ugh, I can't believe I put that out there. Ugh. But Island Strikes Back, easily my favorite. Are there any TPIs other than 2319MI and Bayo that I would recommend checking out? Yeah, for sure. I mentioned a couple of them earlier, just off the top. Total Pokemon Dimensions, that would be Turtle Productions. Game Changers, which would be Heavenly Heracross. Pokepandemonium, which is Guildmaster. Gliscor Games. Pacifica, when it comes out, whenever that is, I don't know when it's going to be. Survivor Island, Teddy Garmin, or excuse me, the artist formerly known as Teddy Garmin, Charismatic Crawdaunt. And I don't know if you guys saw this the other day, but we have a new challenger in our mix, and that is, oh god, I don't remember what his what his YouTube is. I know him as Andrew. But Total Pokemon Fandom, the first episode just came out, and I was fucking blown away by it. So if you haven't seen Total Pokemon Fandom, go watch that! Go look it up! Bam! There it is. I watched Season 2, and I believe Torracat and Meowstic are autistic. Okay. I have autism myself. Is that the case for at least one of these characters? So, I'm gonna say no. Because I didn't specifically write them. I didn't specifically write that in any of their, or either of their backstories. Just keep in mind that Meowstic is a child. Meowstic is 13. So, she's still very young, and like a lot of us were very, young and kind of timid and awkward when we were 13. So, that's just kind of, how she is. And with Torracat, I wouldn't say he's autistic necessarily. I would say if he has any kind of disorder, it would be ADHD, where he's kind of just like super excitable. He's off the walls all the time. And if like when he gets excited, he goes fucking nuts. And so I guess ADHD would be kind of the closest thing to Torracat, in my opinion. Here's a question. Why the fuck is Mime Junior still in? What happened with her arc with Raiju? After episode 15, it just kind of disappeared. Well, to answer your first part of that question, why is Mime Junior still in? Well, because it's my fucking show. No, I'm just kidding. But, yeah, I mean, I have plans for her. So, and she was supposed to go a while ago. That being said, she was supposed to go a while ago. Before I actually was like, hey, I kind of like this character. I'm gonna run with this. So, and before anybody gets on me, her team keeps winning, so she keeps winning immunity. So, what do you want me to do? You know what I mean? It's like her team keeps winning, so Fuck, she keeps having immunity. And as for her arc with Raichu, yeah, I'll admit it did kind of peter out a little bit, but it was one of those things where we got kind of caught up in branching storylines pretty much. So it happens. Don't worry about it. Also, what happened with the grass wall mystery from episode 10? That's another arc that just seemed to disappear. Skiddo and Bidoo for investigating, and that was another arc that just kind of faded away, and we got no answers to that. Well, boy, do I have some good news for you, cast form lover, because you're gonna find out exactly what's going on with that next episode. Ha ha ha! Tune in, baby. Why did you evolve Eevee into an Umbreon? Because Shiny Umbreon is the best shiny evolution, and that's a fact. And no one can. I will take no arguments about that. And it's not even close. It's not close. Shiny Umbreon is the best, and it's not even close. How did you pick the cast and their personalities? Well, I picked the Pokemon first. Which this might be different for different people. I picked the Pokemon first for pretty much everybody. I decided I wanted these Pokemon in my cast, and then I kind of came up with personalities from there, like Litten being, obviously you evolve into an Incineroar. I was like, oh, he should have a dad who's a wrestler, and that should be his dream, is to be a wrestler. Like, that would be cool. And then, kind of other things like that. But mostly, I just picked Pokemon that I wanted to see in the show. Not too many. They weren't all Pokemon that I was like, I love this Pokemon, because I have found in the past that makes it really fucking hard for me to eliminate people at first. So I went with a healthy mix of people that I really like, people that I kind of like, people that I don't really like too much, and then I just decided their personalities from there. What are some of the biggest inspiration when it comes to the writing and or tone of the show? So, as you guys know by now, I love horror. Ever since like 2017, 2018, that's when I really found my love for horror again. It was kind of instilled in me at a young age, watching horror movies and all that. But I do get a lot of inspiration from, like, especially for those horror movie challenges, horror movie storylines. It's a lot of like stuff from horror that I love, and I get a lot of inspiration from wrestling as well, because that's one of my other like top 3 biggest passions ever, and that's where you get a lot of the and especially not this episode upcoming, but the next one after that, you're gonna see a wrestling based challenge, and you're gonna be like, oh, okay, all right. But a lot of my writing is, well, here's the thing, is that I've been watching wrestling for 7 or 8 years now. I started in like 2013, I want to say. So it's about 8 years. When I first started watching, I wasn't a huge writer yet. But as I kind of got older and got more into writing, as I got into college and all that stuff, I look at wrestling in 2 different ways. I look at it as it is a show, but I also look at it as it is a script, and it is a story, and it is, somebody had to write this. So I was like, okay, if I was going to write a storyline, how would I do it? And, a lot of storylines here, they have that kind of wrestling-esque storytelling, where you'll have the 2 players in the conflict, and then you might have, supporting characters in that plot, and you might have something that you're just hinting at right now, but it's going to become a lot bigger later. And so it's a lot of wrestling that really inspires my writing, and a lot of horror that inspires a lot of the tone of the show. Like, if I was more into like romance movies and stuff like that, romance writing, I'm sure that would influence more of the tone of the show. If you probably noticed that there's not a whole lot of romance on my show, and that's okay because I'm not good at it. I've done it a little bit, and it was fine. It was fine enough, but it was one of those things where I was like, it's just not my thing, man. It's not my thing. That's why you don't end up with fucking Nikki's TPA where every single character is coupled off with somebody. It's like, get that shit out of my face. Get out of here. How long do you spend on average writing, animating, voicing, and editing these episodes? Which parts do you enjoy the most and the least? So I'll answer the second part first. I would say the parts that I like the most out of writing, animating, voicing, editing, I would say in order. It goes writing, editing, voicing, and then animating. Obviously, I love writing the scripts because I can fucking do that anywhere. I could be at school and be writing that. I could be on a bus to Kalamazoo and be writing the next episode. You know what I mean? So I love the writing part, and then editing is, I get kind of hot and cold on editing. Once I get rolling on editing, once I get like kind of in a groove and, you know, get some momentum, I just bang out editing. It's fun. It's fun because you see the end product coming together right before your eyes. Then I would say voicing is probably next, just because, I mean, I do love to talk, but it does, you know, doing Quillfish's voice for extended periods of time does hurt my voice sometimes. And then animating, I would say probably making the PowerPoint is like the least fun I have, just because it's kind of like, I don't know, I feel like sometimes it's kind of just like, it just kind of drones on forever, and like kind of, I have a good routine for it, and I'm very glad that I do, where I have, you know, the text boxes, and I have, you know, I layer the shit out of the text boxes. I think I got 25 text boxes on one slide, like, a while ago. But it's like that's good, because that also helps keep the slide numbers down. But, yeah, I would say that's probably my least favorite. How long do I spend? It really depends. It depends on, like, what's going on in my life. It depends on kind of how much time I took off after the last episode. Because when I was writing Double or Nothing, I took next to no time off. It was like Jurassic Kicked got released, and then we all know what happened after that. And then I immediately got to work on writing Double or Nothing, because I was like, I have to redeem myself now. And so I've been writing Judas Effect, which is the next episode. I've been writing that consistently. I've been trying to get at least a little bit done every day, as much as I can. And so I like to kind of not necessarily do it in like, I have a week to do this, then I have a week to do that, and then I have a week to do that. But it's like, sometimes sometimes the script could take 2 days to write. Sometimes it could take, 2 weeks, depending on what episode it is and how much I already have in my head of what is going to be in the episode. In terms of the PowerPoint, that probably takes the longest, honestly. Just because, like I said, it's a lot of work for my mouse clicking finger to do that. Voicing doesn't take very long. It's just however long the episode's going to be, at most an hour and a half. I try to do it in one sitting, just because I don't want to, I don't know, I just don't like, I like to have I like to keep the energy going, especially if it's like a, 1 hour to 1 hour 15 episode. It's like I don't have to stop and do this another day. It's like, because then I'm not gonna have the same energy that I did today. So I like to get that out of the way in one sitting, so that takes like an hour. And then editing, like I said, depending on if I get in a groove. If I get in a groove, I think editing Double or Nothing took 3 days of like, and that was like me in the lab, like very consistently. It was like 3 days, and I was like, Saturday morning, I think it was, I finished it, and then I did the watch through, and I was like, that's it. It's good. Let's go. Compared to my original 2015 TPI, what has Island Strikes Back improved on the most? The writing, easily. I could say, oh, the mic quality is better, or the editing, fucking, what do I even use? Premiere is better than fucking iMovie, which it is, but I would be remiss if I didn't say that the writing has improved fucking tenfold. I still have my original document for season 1 of like the cast and descriptions for the cast, and I use descriptions in hard air quotes because they're hardly descriptions. It's like C-Dot, big player, Corsola, big player, C-Dot's girlfriend. It's like was I even like it? It's like I literally came into the first episode like with nothing, and I was like, okay. I used to write my fucking scripts for the first couple episodes, like just I wrote them in pencil, and they were like less than a page long, and I was like, nice, that's good. Now it's like my script for Double or Nothing is gonna be, no, excuse me, not Double or Nothing. Judas Effect. My script is probably gonna be like 19 pages, something like that, in times 12. So take from that what you will. I think the writing's so much better. I'm much better at starting storylines, hinting at things, and following through on them. And the characters are so much better. I don't think a lot of people used Gary Stu to describe Charizard from season 1, and looking back, I'm like, yeah, that kind of fits. But I don't think there's any Mary Sue's / Gary Stews this season, unless I did that intentionally. So yeah, the writing, I would say. 2 years down the line, how do you feel about introducing the event wheel and the fan vote? Have they helped or hindered the writing process? I am very happy I did. I'm so fucking happy I did. Because it's a good way to get all you guys involved. And I don't know, it's a good way to get everybody, involved, commenting. And the event wheel is so cool because it almost lets me do whatever I want, if you think about it, because if I want something to happen, the fucking event wheel can make it happen, okay? Like, if I want someone gone, the event wheel can make them disappear, okay? The event wheel has been responsible for so many eliminations that it's like, I would have had a hard time eliminating, X amount of people otherwise. Gabite comes to mind when he was blindfolded. How was I going to pull that off if he wasn't blindfolded? And so if I didn't have the event wheel, he wouldn't be blindfolded. So it's like, those things definitely do help the writing process. And with the fan vote, I wouldn't say that really helps or hurts the writing process, because it's like after 2 episodes, I already know who's gonna win that round. So it's like I can already kind of have an idea of what I'm gonna give them. I already know who's gonna the round's gonna end next episode, and I already know who's gonna win, and I already know what they're gonna get, and it's gonna be fucking sick. So yeah. Approximately how many unfinished TPIs do I have? I have about 5, so that's why I'm asking. I think I might be pushing like 8 or 9, honestly. And those are just the ones that I remember. Man, oh wow. It's a lot. It's like at least one every single year until 2015 when I actually started doing this. So, yeah, it's been a lot. It's been a lot. Favorite Pokemon generation, Gen 4. It was my first gen. Sinnoh was my first, Pearl was my first game, and Sinnoh's my favorite region, and Heart Gold and Soul Silver are they're not my number one favorite games in the series, but I am on the boat of they are the best games in the series. I think they are. They really are. And so Gen 4 can do no wrong for me. Gen 4 is perfect. Except, Diamond and Pearl are like really slow. But like just play Platinum instead. It'll be alright. Just do it. Favorite Pokemon type? Ice type, I would say. I don't know. It's hard to that's like my gut reaction is Ice type, because there's just so many Ice types that I do like, and a lot of them are like Pokemon that people don't like, and I'll bring them up. I'll bring a couple of them up a little later, but yeah, it's like I feel like Ice is super underrated, and I feel like people shit on Ice types so much, and I'm like, hey, Ice type is pretty cool, man. Relax. Opinions on Apom and Ambipom. Apom's cool. He's a cute young man. He's funny in the anime, stealing Ash's hat all the time. Ambipom is really fucking ugly. I'm not gonna lie. Ambipom is, in my opinion, the worst evolution that we got in Gen 4. And there's so many good ones, man. Yanmega, Weavile, Electivire, Magmortar. Like, what? Togekiss is sick. But then you got a couple stinkers, you know what I mean? Oh, Licky as well is one of my favorites. Then you got some stinkers, man. Rhyperior's not great. I don't hate him, but he's not great. I've never been too hot on Tangrowth. Magnezone's dope, also. And then there's Ambipom. He's just so ugly. I was like, what were they thinking? Like, he's so ugly. That being said, one of Slowking, the character's best friends, is Ambipom, the host of Pokememe Island, who is also addicted to cocaine. So, I like that Ambipom. I guess I'll say that. What's your favorite question apart from Slowking? I'm gonna attempt to answer that as best as I can. My favorite question was the one where he said, "Why the fuck is Mime Junior still in?" When I first read that, I got such a laugh out of that. I was like, yeah, yep, that's how you're supposed to feel. Yep, there you go. So that's my favorite question. Why did you eliminate people like Rattata, Helioptile, Timber so early? Again, it's one of those things where it's like, man, someone had to go first. I mean, technically, Druddigon went first, but he came back. Someone had to go first, and it's like, I didn't want to spend like 5 episodes giving Timber a bunch of backstory, and then he just gets eliminated. So it was like, someone has to go first. But it's funny you mention those 3, in that order, because I feel like you're gonna see them again soon. I don't know, just like watch out for episode 23. You'll see them again. Don't you worry, baby. And finally, do you like cheese? Yes. Yes, I do. I love cheese. I love all sorts of cheese. I like cheese on my sandwiches. I love cheese pizza. I love Parmesan cheese. Grated Parmesan cheese on my pasta. Fucking great. You know what I've never seen in real life, actually? Like an entire wheel of cheese. I feel like I've only seen wheels of cheese with like slices missing at the supermarket. I don't know. I do like cheese though. Thank you for asking that. Now I'm kind of hungry. Do you like your chef Bronzong as a friend? Fuck yeah. He is Slowking's best friend. He is they were roommates in college. They've been friends since they were kids. And he was Slowking's best man at his wedding. Which I'm gonna find some way to get that into the show at some point, so don't worry. But yeah, he's Slowking's best friend. If you met a Poliwag, what would you do? I'm assuming in real life. I would look that man right in his eyes, and I'd give him a nice pat on the head, because Poliwag is adorable. And I'd also be like, hey, can you take me to the other Pokemon so that I can find the ones that I'm looking for, please? Who's the best contestant, in my opinion, in The Island Strikes Back? Best is subjective. Best is very subjective. My best is going to be different than your best. So I don't think I would use the word best necessarily for that. what I will say is my favorite is probably Torracat, because Torracat is one of those characters that, like, if I'm not feeling like writing the rest, like another part of the episode, I'll just write a Torracat scene, man. It's something I can have fun with. I love writing his dialogue. I love his character, obviously, because he's, you know, the wrestling fan, and he's the, you know, he's like the crazy, like, kind of Billy from Billy and Mandy-esque character. He's just really fun to write for, and that's what I appreciate about Torracat. Do you have some sort of schedule for ISB for the year of 2021? Simple answer is no, I don't. I try not to put myself to a schedule, especially, you know, because all this school stuff that I'm going to be getting back into. I don't want to... It's less about me and more about you guys, where I don't want to set myself to a schedule that, like, I'm definitely not going to be able to keep up with. And then, you know, then I have to make a video saying, oh, the episode's delayed because I had too much homework last night. And then it's just, I don't know, I feel like it's just a bummer if you guys had to, you know, sit there and expect an episode, let's say, at the end of March, and then it doesn't come out until, like, June. And then, yeah, it just keeps, you know, getting delayed. I don't want to do that to you guys, so I'm not going to make any type of schedule, but I will say that episode 22, Judas Effect, I have 2 scenes left to write, and then I'm immediately going to get to work on the PowerPoint, and hopefully I can get that done, you know, lickety split, and then we'll try to get that one out as soon as we can. Hopefully, what is it, March 6th? Hopefully, you know, at some point in, like, the last couple days of March, you know, hopefully even earlier than that, who knows, but I definitely want to get it out by the end of March. Then, I'm not sure how long episode 23 is going to take, because I am going to be working with some other people in the community for episode 23, and I'm sorry if, don't take that as like I'm looking for people to be in the episode, because I guess you could say auditions are closed, because I already know who I'm gonna have in there, and I've already, you know, kind of reached out to them and been like, hey, episode 23, let's do this. So that's why I'm not really gonna put a schedule on it, just because, especially when you start working with other people, it's like, you know, I have to take their schedules into account too. And granted, yeah, it is just like sending me voice lines, but, like, you know, shit happens, so I'm not too worried about it. But definitely expect episode 22 by the end of March. Are you ever scared or nervous to bring up or create a dark past or sides of your characters that hit a little too close to home for some of your audience? So, simple answer is no. I wouldn't say I'm necessarily scared or nervous to do that. Mainly because a lot of, like, the dark stuff is like stuff that I know. And I won't go into too much detail, obviously, but, like, if you remember Pikachu's backstory about, you know, how his background with alcohol and stuff like that, it's like that storyline and backstory, that's inspired by me and, you know, experiences that I've had. And so I'm comfortable putting that out there because it's an experience that I had. I probably would not, and don't plan on. And here's the thing, is that you get a backstory like Quillfish. It's not too dark. It's kind of funny, honestly, to me. Then you get a backstory like, you know, Rockruff and Sneasel. Both of Rockruff's parents are dead, and Sneasel's dad is dead. Those ones, they're not super dark, honestly. They're sad. They're like, oh man, I feel for them now, but they're not super dark. You know what I mean? When I think of dark backstories, I immediately think of Clobber from Abandoned. That's a fucking dark backstory with the... Spoiler alert, if you haven't seen Abandoned episode, I don't know what, but it came out 2 years ago, so you should be caught up by now. Where Clobber was sent to a conversion camp to, you know, so that she wouldn't be gay anymore. That's fucking dark, man. And there's another one coming up that's a little on the darker side that I know about, nobody else knows about. But you'll know, don't worry. But it's like, that's a stretch for me. I don't think I would. I don't think I would ever go, conversion camp levels of dark. Because aside from like dead parents, which I don't have, by the way, pretty much any, backstory that's on the darker side, it's things that I've either experienced myself or I know somebody that has. And so I'm familiar enough with them where I wouldn't, play it for laughs, or I wouldn't, kind of not do it justice, I guess. And I guess I would just do it the right way. And so I wouldn't say I'm scared or nervous about any of that, because if I'm gonna include it, I'm gonna make sure I do it right. Did you think of another Pokemon as a mascot other than Slowking? Around the time I was making the channel, no. But previously, when it was in my infant days of TPI, so like 2012, 2013, I was kind of toying around with the idea of, what I would want to do if I did make a YouTube account for it. And the Pokemon that stuck out to me was Houndoom. I don't know, I've always liked Houndoom. I'll mention him a little bit later. I've always liked Houndoom, but I was like, I could do like a Houndoom mascot. I think the name that I came up with was like Hellfire Houndoom or something like that. But then that never really happened. And then when I was coming up with the channel, I was like, what should I do? Hey, Slowking's pretty cool. What should the adjective be before that, or the word? I was like, sarcastic. I'm pretty sarcastic. I could do that. Sarcastic Slowking. That has a nice ring to it. That's cool. And there it was. There was the channel. Now here we are, 5.5 years later. Oh boy. If you could have a Pokemon team, who would your top 6 favorite Pokemon be? No legends and myths allowed. Well, I've literally mentioned all of them in previous slides, but let me pull up my note in my phone that I have about this. I want to say I made this in 2019, so let me just try to find that. It should be under Pokemon Team. Pokemon Team. There we go. Okay, so the first member of the team is a Bidoof. And his name is Scooter. And I will never evolve into a Bibarel, because Bibarel is dumb looking and Bidoof is cute forever. Next is a Heliolisk, whose name is Lemon. And he is a male. Scooter is also a male. Oh, I'm sorry. Actually, I lied. Lemon is a female. But yeah, I've always liked Heliolisk. Dilophosaurus is one of my favorite dinosaurs. And so, how can I not have one on the team? He's a fucking cool electric lizard. Why not have him? My starter, of course, is fucking Torterra, whose name is Pangea, and he's a man. He's not a boy, he's a man. And as you can see, Scooter would constantantly ride on his back, as would I. And next up, how could I not include my favorite Pokemon, Glaceon, who's the other female on the team, whose name is AJ. And I'd fucking love to have a Glaceon on my team. And next is a Venomoth, whose name is Ned. And the reason his name is Ned is because in one of the first Nuzlocke I ever completed, which was of Soul Silver, I had a Venomoth on my team. His name was Ned. And Ned, somehow, I don't know how, was the last man standing in the Elite Four, and he fucking soloed Lance. I don't know how, I don't know why, but it happened. And Venomoth has forever had a place in my heart since then. And that's why we're going to have Ned the Venomoth on our Pokemon team. And the final member, it's Slowking. It's Slowking. What you think, dog? It's Slowking. And Slowking's name is going to be Albert, because, it's a very regal name to me. Albert. Yeah, there we go. Would you ever consider making a Discord? I actually do have a Discord. I don't know how it would work to link that in the description, but I do have one. Yeah. Are there any Pokemon that you think wouldn't work as a contestant or a host? Just as a general rule for me, I try to avoid legendaries as contestants, unless you're gonna do like an all legendary cast, like oh god, what's the season called? Is it called Legends House? No, that's that's a WWE show. Whatever the name of the show that Emerald Star did years and years ago, where the entire cast was legendaries. If you do it like that, it could work. I feel like if you just have a cast of like first form Pokemon and then just a fucking Groudon, all of a sudden, I'm calling you out, Nikki. I'm calling you out. It doesn't work. They're too big. They're too powerful. All that stuff. The only ones that could work, I think, are Shaman, because Shaman's just a little cute boy. I don't know. Maybe Manaphy, Fione. I don't know. It's just like, as a general rule, I wouldn't do it. As for host / chef, I guess that's open season, man. Whoever you want. You can do legendaries. You can do first form Pokemon for all I care. Like, as long as they're funny, and you can, as long as your host and your chef have good chemistry, they can be whatever Pokemon you want. But yeah, no legendaries. That being said, I did in a scrapped TPI, TPA from years and years ago. This is funny. I actually remember working on this TPA in 2013 when Sharknado, the first one, premiered. So that just goes to show you how long I've been doing this and how old I am. I had in season 2, which was TPA, a Latios and a Latias on the show, which you could pull that off. And the Latias was actually ended up dating an Oshawott on the show, which is a little sus, but it is what it is. What did you think of Total Drama Reunion and then Total Drama being announced to return? Oh man, Total Drama Reunion, that shit pulled at my heartstrings so much. I mentioned earlier that when Total Drama was airing in the US, I was in 6th grade. So to be 23 years old and to see something like that, it's like, oh, my childhood. I think World Tour was actually premiering. World Tour was premiering my freshman year of high school, which is wild. And Total Drama being announced to return, I'm fucking psyched. As long as they just go back to basics and it's like it's similar in tone to the original season. Fucking take my money. Take my money, HBO Max. Shut up and take my money. What is your favorite Pokemon of each region? Okay, so we've had a lot of favorite Pokemon of blank questions. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to give you my favorite Pokemon of each region that I haven't said anything about yet. So for Kanto, Blastoise. Oh my god. He's my favorite starter from Kanto. I love the whole Squirtle line. I actually really like all the Kanto starters. And like the middle forms are all fucking great too, which is a rarity for starters. But Blastoise, he's just so good. He's got fucking guns on his back. He has firearms on his back. That's sick. Johto? We already talked about him a little bit, but Houndoom, and he's looking the other way because he doesn't care. Houndoom's always just been really cool to me. I've always just loved him. I think he's dope and all that. Yeah, Houndoom. Boom. Hoenn? Latias. Latias is cool. My favorite legendary from Hoenn is Latias. I just think, but Latios is cool and sleek and dope, and then Latias is adorable, and I love it. If I had to pick, I'd pick Latias. That's not. I don't want to offend Latios. Okay, I would be his friend too, but I would pick Latias. Sinnoh, bro, Shaman, bro. Shaman is one of those Pokemon. The first time I laid eyes on this Pokemon, I thought to myself, "Yup, that's the one. If Pokemon were real, that is the one I want, right there." And granted, yes, it is a legendary / mythical, but if I can get my hands on a fucking Shaman and catch a Shaman, you best believe I'm the best Shaman trainer in the world. You better fucking believe it. If Pokemon are real, that's mine, right there. I get a Shaman and a Glaceon, I will live the rest of my life a happy man. Unova? Hot take, or I guess cold take. Man, I love this fucking guy. The Ice Cream Man. I love him. I know he's... People hate on this man so much, but I just love him. I think he's so goofy, and I think... I prefer him to a lot of the other, like, inanimate object Pokemon. I prefer this to Magneton, which is saying a lot because I love Magnezone, but I prefer the Ice Cream. He's so dumb and goofy. How could I not love him? But not dumb and not goofy is Hawlucha. A Lucha Libre wrestler Pokemon? Take my money! I'd get a Hawlucha in a second, bro. Are you kidding? Holy shit. Togedemaru. I have a story about this guy. Every time I play a new Pokemon game, I Nuzlocke it on the first run. Because I don't like to decide in advance what my team is. Because, I don't know, I like to just experience that. I like to go with the flow when I'm playing a new game. So I Nuzlocke all of them. Fast forward to Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, and I catch this guy, and I'm thinking to myself, yeah, okay, whatever, he'll live in the box for the rest of his days. Then I get to the Ultra Necrozma fight, and, yeah, my entire team dies, and I'm like, oh god, oh fuck, what am I gonna do now? So now I have to get 6 people out of the box and train them all up from scratch. We ended up with a Togedemaru, a Kecleon, a Gastrodon, a Clawitzer, a Torkoal, and a Toucannon. That ended up being the final team. And I trained the shit out of them. And then I got to Ultra Necrozma, and I was like, oh my god, I hope I don't get fucking destroyed again. I send out this little boy, Togedemaru, and he walled Ultra Necrozma. He couldn't even hit me. He was doing like 10 damage a hit. I was like, am I gonna win this with a Togedemaru? And I did. And I was like, all right, you win. I like you now. So he's just in the same vein as Ned the Venomoth. Togedemaru is a soldier, a warrior in my eyes. And that team, actually, when we got to the champion fight, that team literally went 1v1 every single member of the champion's team, and we swept them. And it was 2 in the morning when I was playing that, and I was like, I was standing up, and I just had to sit down. I was like, that was the coolest fucking fight I've ever had in my life. That was insane. Togedemaru, there he is. And then we come to Gen 8, and we got Frostmoth. It's an ice type. I love ice types, as we've established. And, you know, the cult of Snom is is large. But I love Frostmoth. I just think he's cool. I just literally I just think he's dope. I don't know, his design is just sick. I don't know. I love him. Any not as well-known TPIs that you'd recommend? Well, we answered that earlier, actually. So let's just roll that clip back, shall we? Just off the top, Total Pokemon Dimensions, that would be Turtle Productions. Game Changers, which would be Heavenly Heracross. Pokepandemonium, which is Guildmaster. Gliscor Games. Pacifica, when it comes out, whenever that is, I don't know when it's going to be. Survivor Island. Alright, thanks, Past Me. What got you into making TPIs? I saw Nicky Nor's a long time ago when his show was actually airing, and I was like, I want to do that. I want to do that. That'd be dope if I did that. That'd be sick. And after many failed attempts and many attempts that didn't go anywhere, there it was. And finally, how you doing? I'm doing pretty well. Thanks for asking. My anxiety was through the roof the other day for no reason, but aside from that, I'm doing pretty good. I'm happy to be making this Q&A video, to be celebrating this occasion, and I'm happy to be answering all your guys' questions. So thank you for asking. And finally, the last question. From 1 to 10, what is your favorite color of the alphabet? Apple? But, you guys, that's going to do it for this Q&A video. Oh my god. I just talked for so much longer than I thought I was going to. The raw footage for this is at 95 minutes right now. So I'm definitely going to cut that down a little bit and edit the shit out of this. But thank you guys again so much for all your questions. Thank you for subscribing. I wouldn't have made it this far without every single one of you. Every single one of you guys. When this video comes out, expect the next video that comes out will be episode 22, and yeah, I'm really excited for that episode, man. I really am. I've been working hard on it. It's been an episode that it's been building a lot. There's a lot of stuff that's been building for episodes that's gonna come to a head this episode. A lot of people aren't gonna see it coming. Some people are, and they know who they are. But it's gonna be a good one. I'm super excited for it. But if you'll excuse me, it's 1:05 in the morning now. I'm really hungry right now. I have to wake up. In the morning to run 8 miles, and then spend the rest of my day passed out and eating wings and watching the UFC fights. So I will see you guys when I see ya. I will see you guys when episode 22 comes out. So keep your eyes open for that. And again, thank you guys so much for subscribing and for all your questions. And that's it for me. One and only Slow King out. Cue the outro, baby. And this time it's actually going to go to the outro because this isn't an episode of Violence Strikes Back.